Danganronpa.
I better check the Monokuma file before anything else. The victim was Sakura Ogami. The time of death is estimated to be around 12 noon. The body was discovered in the rec room on the third floor of the school. There is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were involved. However, it seems that at some point the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood. Monokuma file number 4.
Hey,
I think the case this time might be a challenge. Why's that?
so...
The only way into the rec room is the door we just came through, and the door had been jammed shut with a door from inside the rec room, which means the killer would have had to escape somehow after barring the door. So if the door was blocked from the inside, then there's no way in or out till we broke the window. There's like zero escape, right?
In other words,
This is a classic locked room murder. Locked room murder? I guess you might see this kind of thing a lot in mystery movies or books or whatever. But could it really happen in real life? And right before our very eyes like this?
hey,
Are you curious to hear more about what a locked room murder entails? Sure, if you don't mind.
that's fine.
When you break down this kind of murder mystery, there are 4 basic types. The first type is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed. This simply means that the killer commits his crime, then through some special method seals the room. This mainly involves some sort of trick involving the locking of the room. Basic approaches include using a string or simple mechanism. There's a number of variations. So for that, all we'd have to do is check the door to see if that's what's going on, right?
Correct.
The second type is when the locked room already exists before the crime is committed. Oh?
In other words,
Basically, the killer used a special contraption or tool from outside to target the victim inside. You push a switch and it fires a handgun. You shoot an arrow through a gap in the door, something like that.
however,
But in this case, that doesn't seem to fit. There's no guns or arrows in the school, and the door doesn't have any gap that would allow it to. Excuse me. Yeah, I think we can probably cross that off the list.
it's true.
The third type is when the killer stays in the room until it's open. What do you mean by that?
In other words,
They stay hidden, and when the door is open, they use the confusion to blend in with the group. They pretend they showed up along with everyone else. That's that. That sounds like it could have been possible, maybe.
it's true.
And the fourth and final type is when it wasn't actually a locked room at all. Not a locked
In other
room.
words,
By what I mean, there actually is an alternate escape route somewhere within the room. You see this a lot in novels and things, but in reality, it's generally not possible. Then you think we can cross that one off too?
indeed.
I believe so, yes. So when it comes to locked room mysteries, those are the basics. So there are 4 possibilities. Then, Kyoko, which of the 4... I'm gonna sneeze. Okay. Which of the 4 choices seems the most likely in this case?
It's true.
That's a good question. Answering that should be your primary focus during this trial. But right now, I can't really say. I see. The way the killer set up the locked room. Until I figure out the truth behind Sakura's death, will stay hidden. It's definitely a tough mystery. I need to concentrate and investigate as much as I can. For Sakura, if nothing else. There's a blood stain in front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? Magazine shelf bloodstain. That same shelf is full of magazines. There's all different kinds of magazines here. There are 4 red balls lined up on the shelf. And inside each ball, there's some kind of Monokuma figure. What I'm wondering is how did they get these figures inside the bottles?
So...
It's no different from your standard bottle ship in a bottle, huh? You know where the bottles open. Wait. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. You know where the bottom's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside. You never seen that? Oh yeah, maybe I have.
In other words,
so this is the Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will. Monokuma bottles. Looks like some kind of wrapper.
huh?
Oh, that's... Do you recognize it, Hina?
Well,
yeah, I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a little. So you gave that candy to Sakura. I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really like them. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I'm sure nobody else could get their hands on them. Really like them that much? But I wanted Sakura to get a chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her. But now they've lost all their flavor. Hina. Polka dot candy wrapper. Prince. The locker's open, and they're on the inside. And there on the inside, it's a handprint.
why?
What's a handprint doing here? It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and left the handprint in all that dust. And it looks quite fresh too. I'd say someone was hiding in the locker and they left behind a little something extra. So then, maybe the killer hid in there until the locked room was open, don't you think? And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group?
Wrong.
Unfortunately, that's not possible. Huh? Why not?
Hey,
Think back. Before we opened the room, we looked inside the room, right? Oh yeah, the locker room was already open at that point.
indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. Yeah, so then, what does that handprint mean? There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. The glass is all red, and are those the top and bottom sections of the bottle, right? This must have originally been a bottle. Glass shards on the floor. Huh? There's something else on the ground near the glass. It's a figure. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure. Figure on the floor. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of things, little by little. The Monokuma bottle's sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure we found on the ground. The red shards of glass, which probably started out as a bottle, which would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head with a Monokuma ball, right? Shards of glass and Monokuma figure are evidence of that. So I think it's safe to say that the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. There's some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance of the room.
So...
It looks like a protein drink, and it's empty. Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she loved her protein. And she mentioned more than once how protein was good for all sorts of ailments.
Wrong.
I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you. I know. But still, this protein can. It's got a label on it. It's got a label on it that says Chem A2. That reminds me, Sakura mentioned how the Chem lab had all kinds of health stuff. So she must have gotten this from the Chem lab.
Just a second.
But that's strange. Huh? What is?
Hey.
You see what's scattered on the around the can? Shards of light blue glass. They must be part of the window I broke to get inside.
Correct.
Oh. Hang on. Oh my goodness. Okay. But they aren't scattered around the cave. They're also underneath it. Why does that matter?
So...
I can't say for sure yet, but you're probably going to want to take note of it. I feel like it become an important clue later on. Important clue. I'm not sure I see how. Empty protein bottle. Or empty protein drink.
What?
What do you want? You're bothering me. Go away. Not even trying to hide how much he despises me. I better go before he crushes my soul completely.
However...
But for Sakura to have been killed? Yeah, that's not the type... Yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight.
It's true.
And she certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wondered, did someone get the upper hand? They must have taken her by surprise. Right?
Certainly.
Certainly. They would have needed to if they expected to stand any chance against her.
What the heck?
We already know who did it. Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It has to be one of them. They couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto? Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more. Then let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all three of them to meet with her. You know where? Right here in the rec room. What? After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own. But when I saw her again after that, she told me she had left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon. By noon. The Monokuma file said she'd died right around then. I'm telling you the truth, I heard it right from Sakura herself. And I tried to stop her, but she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, that she wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened? If I had stopped her, even by force this never would have happened. Hina. It's impossible not to have regrets, I know. I always account. But the fact that she had asked those three to meet up with her, and she asked them to come to the rec room by noon, the same time and place she ended up dying. It might be good to confirm what I just heard with the three of them directly.
What?
What do you want? You're bothering me. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Make it quick. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet up with her in the rec room? So you found out. Interesting. Then it's true? I did receive a note that to that effect, yes. But what fool would do what it said, and risking being killed by that monster? So you didn't go see her? Of course not. I ripped that note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Byakuya says he didn't see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact.
Come on.
As if you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight. Okay, then thanks. Byakuya's account. Can I leave now? No. This door is the only way in or out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock, and there's no evidence that the mountings have been tampered with. The only notable change to the door is the smashed window, which happened, of course, when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence that any kind of spring or mechanism was used on the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. Chair was shoved to no evidence of any kind of spring or mechanism. In other words, there's no reason to think the chair or anything special. Having examined both the chair and the door, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it. This kept the doorknob from turning and the door from opening. And there was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. So the killer must have created the locked room from inside, not from the outside. I need to examine the crime scene as much as possible.
Hey,
She was the only one.
certainly.
What the heck?
Around 1 o'clock right now. According to the Monokuma file, Sakura died around 12 noon. So roughly an hour ago. Was that when Kyoko and I were moving Alter Ego? Sakura drew her last breath, sitting slumped forward in this chair. There's obviously evidence of the blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally, I wouldn't have any problem believing that's what killed her. But according to the Monokuma file, she had also vomited blood. Oh. I could see a trace of blood on her lips for sure. So what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injury. Maybe her getting hit on the head Maybe getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood? Not a chance. Byakuya!
That's fine.
However, your eyes have landed on a most interesting location. Interesting?
Naturally.
Yes, most interesting. Do you agree? No, I don't think I'd call it interesting. But it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died.
Listen.
Well, Makoto, have you finished your general investigation? Yeah, I think so, for the most part.
So then,
Then you should probably go talk to the... Then you should probably go talk with people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave.
listen to me.
Which is why I've decided to go and... which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She's decided? She's gotten a lot more pushy since we had our issue. But she's right. I do have to go talk to the others. Sakura wanted to meet with 2 other people. I need to go hear what they had to say. Alright. Since those other 2 probably went back to their rooms. Okay. Give me 1 sec. I will be right back.